Let's talk about the government budget. Yes, it might sound dull at first, but it's actually the nation's game plan, written in dollars and cents. Think of it as the master blueprint for how Singapore runs, grows, and takes care of its people. The budget decides who gets what, how much, and where the money comes from. It's about more than just numbers. It's about choices that affect every Singaporean, every day. The budget shapes the roads you drive on, the schools you attend, and even the price of your favorite chicken rice. It influences the quality of healthcare you receive and the safety of your neighborhood. It's a collective agreement about our priorities as a society, a statement of what we value and what we're willing to invest in for the common good. Every line item has a real-world impact, from public housing for young couples to grants for local artists, to support for seniors and families in need. The budget is the blueprint for the society we live in, and the one we're building for the future. It's how we turn big dreams into everyday realities. Understanding it means knowing where your tax dollars go, and having a say in whether they're spent wisely. It empowers you to ask questions and hold leaders accountable. When politicians debate the budget, they're deciding the kind of country we want to be, what gets funded, what gets cut, and what our future will look like. That's why the budget matters to you, because every decision made in Parliament eventually finds its way to your wallet, your home, and your daily life. So, where does the government get its money? It's a question that affects every citizen, whether you realize it or not. The answer starts with taxes. These are the main source of government funds. Income tax comes out of your paycheck, GST is added to almost everything you buy, and businesses pay corporate tax on their profits. Every time you earn, spend, or invest, a small portion goes to the government. But taxes aren't the only source. Governments also borrow money by issuing bonds, essentially IOUs that investors buy, expecting repayment with interest. This borrowing allows the government to access large sums quickly, especially for urgent needs or long-term investments. Borrowing helps fund big projects like highways, hospitals, and schools without raising taxes immediately. It spreads the cost over time so future generations also contribute to what's being built today. There are also tariffs, taxes on imported goods, and fees like those for renewing your passport, paying for a parking ticket, or getting a driver's license. Even small charges add up to significant revenue. All these streams, taxes, bonds, tariffs, and fees, combine to form the government's revenue. Each source plays a unique role in keeping the country running smoothly. The mix of these sources reveals a country's economic philosophy. A system with heavy income tax is usually more progressive, aiming to reduce inequality, while a higher GST spreads the tax burden across everyone, broadening the base. Understanding where the money comes from is the first step to understanding the budget. It's about more than just numbers. It's about priorities and values. It's not just about numbers. It's about the choices that shape our lives. The way money is collected and spent impacts every community, every family, and every individual. Every dollar collected is a tool for building the nation, funding roads, hospitals, schools, and services that touch us all. The government's allowance is your stake in the country's future. It's a shared investment in the society we want to create. So next time you pay GST, remember, you're helping write the national story, one transaction at a time. That's the foundation of the budget, a collective effort that shapes the future for everyone. Once the government has its revenue, the real challenge is deciding how to spend it. The biggest slices usually go to defense, social welfare and healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Defense covers everything from soldiers' salaries to national security. Social welfare and healthcare support hospitals, medical subsidies, and safety nets for the vulnerable. Education funds schools, universities, and scholarships, investing in the nation's future. Infrastructure spending builds roads, MRT lines, and utilities, the backbone of daily life and economic growth. Each category reflects what the country values most. The way the pie is sliced shapes the society we live in. That's why budget decisions matter to everyone. How does a budget become reality? It starts with ministries submitting funding requests for the year ahead. The Ministry of Finance reviews these, balancing competing needs. There's never enough for everything. After tough negotiations, a unified budget proposal is presented to Parliament. Elected representatives debate, amend, and scrutinize the plan to ensure it serves the public interest. Once approved, the budget becomes law and guides government spending for the year. Agencies must stick to the plan with auditors checking for mismanagement. This process ensures accountability and transparency. The budget isn't just numbers, it's a public contract. Let's break down three key terms: surplus, deficit, and debt. If the government collects more than it spends, that's a surplus, rare but ideal. If it spends more than it collects, that's a deficit, very common. To cover deficits, governments borrow money, usually by selling bonds. Over time, repeated deficits add up to the national debt, the total amount owed. Think of it as the country's credit card balance. Managing debt is crucial, as interest payments can eat up future budgets. High debt can limit a government's options and create economic risks. But sometimes running a deficit is necessary to support the economy. Understanding these terms helps you grasp the stakes in budget debates. When we think about government spending, it's easy to focus only on the national budget. But the truth is, local governments have their own budgets that are just as important for our daily lives. National budgets are responsible for the big picture issues that affect the entire country, things like defense, foreign policy, and managing the overall economy. These decisions set the stage for how the country operates as a whole. Meanwhile, local budgets focus on the things you see and use every day: parks, rubbish collection, streetlights, playgrounds, and other services that make neighborhoods livable and vibrant. Local governments raise much of their revenue through property taxes and service fees, rather than relying solely on money from the national government. This means your local taxes directly support your community. This division of responsibility allows local governments to respond quickly and effectively to the unique needs and priorities of their own communities. Of course, wealthier districts may be able to offer more or better services, but national grants and funding programs are designed to help balance things out and support areas that need extra help. Local councils have the power to prioritize what matters most to their residents, whether that's building new senior centers, expanding childcare, or improving public spaces. The quality of your neighborhood, from clean parks to safe streets, often depends on these local decisions and how well your local budget is managed. By understanding how both national and local budgets work together, you get a much clearer picture of how public money shapes your everyday world and future opportunities. It's all connected. From parliament to your playground, every level of government plays a role in shaping the places where we live, work, and play. A budget isn't just an accounting document, it's a moral blueprint. Every spending choice reflects a government's values and priorities. Funding education or healthcare signals investment in people. Cutting environmental protection sends another message. The numbers reveal what society truly cares about. Understanding the budget lets you see past political promises to real priorities. It empowers you to ask tough questions and advocate for the future you want. The budget shapes your opportunities, your community, and your nation's character. In the end, the budget is where the story of your country is written, and you're part of it.